and thank you for joining me here on Sew Stitch Hex. I'm Miss Izzy, and today we're going to be talking about shadow work. So what is shadow work? Shadow work is a phrase coined by Carl Jung, which I'm going to be yawning a lot for some reason. I have plenty of sleep, but I have coffee. It is a phrase to refer to the shadow aspects of yourself, the id. It is actually defined as the unconscious aspects of archetype personality, which the unconscious ego does not identify with itself. So for most individuals, it is a part of ourselves which we reject. It is the parts that we refuse to identify with. Most people will not recognize and own up to these emotions. You have a lot of people who want to be like happy all the time. And I mean, I look happy all the time, but I have other emotions going on. I'm just a happy person. It just happens. And the shadow self, for me, would be things like anxiety. It would be sadness. It would be anger. It would be jealousy. A lot of other witches I've spoken to have said things like fear of connection, fear of letting go, uncertainty, confusion. Some people, it's fear of commitment. It's fear of change. It's things people are afraid of. Some people, it could be fear of happiness because maybe they don't think they deserve to be happy. What causes you the most problems? What do you think of and you try to push down? Like, I can't feel this right now. You need to go in the vault. I need some time. I know I might be guilty of fear of distance, kind of distant. One of my shadow aspects would be like being closed off and distant, or being too emotional. Being emotional, being a thing. You could be one or the other. For me, it's probably a combination of the two. It's never a balance because I'm either giving everything out or nothing. And that's a thing to work on. So with shadow aspects, you kind of have these pieces of yourself that you don't like to show. And you will meditate on them. You can meditate and journal. Always keep records. It's really hard to keep records when you forget to write about yourself. Like, I have all these little notes on pendulums and cute things that I use all the time that I just want to find ways to talk about or write down just to remind myself or to leave a record for someone who comes after me, who finds my books and is like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, but they didn't tell me how to do this thing that they mentioned briefly on this page. I guess I can't do it now. I mean, you can figure it out, but I get what they're saying. And this is just a future idea. Write about yourself, too, because that gives that personality. Like, I absolutely adore when I find an old journal at, like, Goodwill or a vintage store that's, like, almost clear, but there's, like, 2 or 3 pages inside of it, which have just journal diary entry stuff. And it's like, I just saw a day into someone else's life, and that's really cool. Seeing a day into your past, like where I find an old journal and I read about how my day was, whether it was so happy or it was so sad or it was frustrating or every good thing that could happen happened. It's lovely to read, to see like a moment of your past self, to see a moment of what you just did. And it helps you see your growth. So cataloging and recording for meditative purposes and for the actual shadow work that you do, that is how you show evidence that you did do shadow work. Like, yes, you know, but cataloging it helps you keep a record to actually show your growth. So like, whereas today you feel one way, tomorrow you feel another way, a week from now, maybe you've grown, but you don't know because you didn't record it to compare side by side. You write down your emotions, what you've worked through. A lot of times I'll say, why am I anxious? What is the root cause of the anxiety? What is the root of the anxiety? Is there a way to snuff it out? Is there a way to come to terms with it? Is there a way to understand it so that it doesn't bother me as much? And you just kind of track the progress. You track the questions. You track the answers that you find. You write down the answers that you want but don't find. Just make sure you write it all down. You can also have memory reflection. could be part of your meditation or just part of thinking about yourself. You can do affirmations like I do. I have an adorable app that I just found recently. Like, I think I've been doing it for like 60 days. It's an affirmation app. It's either Tubi or Toby. I call it Toby because I want to give the little sound bowl a name, but it's a little sound bowl, and he gives you an affirmation. You can pick them or you can make your own. And I picked a bunch, but it only gives me one, which is fine, I guess. It dings according to when you said it. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is like the billionth time I've done this video, and I just can't stop yawning. Partially it's because my dog has been yawning a lot, and she keeps walking up to me just to yawn. Why? Why? But the affirmations, you set your own schedule. It starts at 8 a.m., which I don't like. I want it to start at like 5 a.m. so I can start at when I wake up and then go until 5 a.m. the next day, and not 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. because that would make more sense for me as 5, but it doesn't let you adjust it that way. So mine is 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. It gives me every 2 hours an affirmation. And you can set it for every, like, I think 10 minutes to every, like, 1 a day. You can set it however you want. My affirmation that it currently gives me, even though I've selected like 30, is I accept all of life's surprises. And I repeat it when it goes off, and I try to remember, and it helps a little with whatever I'm working with. And you could do that as working with your shadow aspect to remind yourself that these feelings are natural, that these emotions are natural. We are supposed to feel a wide variety of things. I know I'm a little ball of anger, and that's okay, because we are supposed to feel all of these things. We are just complicated houseplants with emotions. That's all we are. I mean, some of us may be outdoors plants, but for the most part, we're under a roof, or you try to be under a roof. And you just have to accept that we can't be happy all the time. We have other emotions, and it's okay to feel them. Like, you shouldn't be like, oh, I need to fix this emotion, but it's more so, I need to fix how I'm looking at it, kind of. So, like, yes, I feel anxiety. Anxiety is normal. Anxiety is natural. It keeps you on task. It keeps you moving. It keeps you motivated. But also, it is debilitating at times. And you have to work with these emotions. You have to understand them and try not to let them control you. You understand them and kind of keep them working for you. So that's one thing that you can do with the shadow aspect, is kind of like check out how you're feeling and work with it. You do it to further your own development, further your own emotions, make yourself feel better. A lot of times I want to feel more in control. I want to feel more at the top of my game. I don't want to feel like my emotions are leading me by a string. I want to be the one in charge. So, this is kind of a brief overview of what shadow work is and how to do it. And I'd like to hear below, how have you worked with shadow work? How have you worked with yourself? What are some things that you've discovered? What are some things that you found work really well for you? So, how have you done it? How have your records developed? Did you enjoy it? Was it very stressful? Was there one thing that you just absolutely detested because it made it worse for you because of the way you began to look at it? What do you understand about it? Are you just now finding this video and this is the first time you've heard of it, or is it something you do all the time? I'd love to know these things. I'd also love to know if there is something that you just can't fix. If there's something that shadow work just hasn't helped you with. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching Sew Stitch Hacks. And I hope to cast a spell with you in the next video.